I'm Paul Wilson. My wife and I, Mary Wilson, serve in the Philippines as missionary. Been in the Philippines, first went there in 84, then lived there 85 and 86, 87 during the martial law time. Then God put a roadblock into what we were plans were, and lived back here in the States for about 20 years. Then I went back to the Philippines again. I've been there 9 years. So missionary on the island of Negros in the Philippines. And that island has two different languages. On one side of the island you have one language, on the other side another language. Each language group has a different culture. The Ilonggo people where I live are very easygoing, soft-spoken, sometimes called a singing type. Even when they're mad, they sound like they're happy. But on the other side of the island, we have the Cebuano people, and they are known to be frugal, where the Ilonggo people are party people. And so the culture is very different. In the Philippines, you have like 40 different languages. And I will be in one language on Sunday morning. Sunday night, I might be in a different language culture group. And next week, I might be in a totally different culture. So cultures vary. The Filipino people, though, are very loving. They often wear the Filipino shirt. It's called a barong. And I like it because I don't have to wear a tie. You get so tired of a tie and always have to tie it. And the other thing you hate is a tail. Your shirt tail always coming out. And over there, these are square cut and longer. And so that's why I wear the barong, is because it's comfortable, no tie. It looks nice, and I enjoy wearing it and representing the wonderful people of the Philippines. I help a lot of churches with vacation Bible school materials and VBS and church building programs and livelihood programs. And so one morning I got up at about 5 o'clock to go out to catch a ship, to go take VBS materials to 2 or 3 islands over. I was going on about a 2-day trip by myself. While I was just about a half mile from home, 3 robbers came and saw me carrying VBS materials and things, and they thought it might be valuable. And so they attempted to rob me of my possessions and whatever I had, and they had said, give it to me, and I said no, and I foolishly, some say, did not think that I just should give away everything that I had, and so they didn't have anything but a starter pistol, and being from southeast Oklahoma, I knew what a starter pistol was, and so I said no. And so they started pushing and shoving and hitting, and I still didn't give. There was 3 of them, but they were quite a bit smaller. Then they pulled out a .45 caliber pistol and shot me through both legs. I'm glad that it was through my legs and not in my head or something vital. And then they continued to try to take my stuff, and then they got scared, and a car was coming. And this car was coming, and it reminds me of the parable of the Good Samaritan. The car came, and I was there bleeding in the street, and the robbers kind of had went off to the side, and the car just went right on by. Didn't stop and help. So I was so scared they was going to come back and finish what they'd started, and another car came, and it was a rich person, nice car, and I thought, oh wow. I was in the street and there bleeding, and his car went by also, and so I thought, wow, I'm sure going to be finished off. And then a real poor guy came by on what you call a tricy. It's a motorcycle with a little sidecar. They go up and down the street for transportation, and this little poor tricy driver came by and picked me up and took me to the hospital down the road. So it's, here those that could help didn't. And the very poor little tricy driver took me in and took me to the hospital. And it was kind of interesting. I called my wife, and I knew she'd be worried, and so I called and I says, I'm okay. I'm in the hospital. I've been shot. And she about had a fit, and so she grabbed another person, and she had to go right down the street where the robbers had been. And but the people were with her, and she come to the hospital, and she said at the hospital there was a trail of blood, just kind of like you trail an animal. And she trailed me to the room, and there I'd been shot, but God provided, and I had some nerve damage for when I walked, but this was another detour. You know, everybody thought, well, you're going to quit. You've been shot, and you're older, and you can't continue, but God allowed us to stay, and God's doing great work. Every time I read the passage of the Good Samaritan, it talks about, and they pass by on the other side. And I always think back of getting shot. How many times there's a need, you know, and we just emotionally or physically or shut our eyes or just going by. So many times in life there's opportunities for us to help, and we just go right on by. Opportunities and to help and to minister, and it's just so easy to pull over the other lane. And